Hey, I'm Charlie Morgan.
And I'm Patricia. And we're going to share a little bit of our story with you. So, we've been married for a little over 18 years. We've got 4 children. And a lot of times people will mention about how we have things all together. But I just want to share that it's not always been that way. God's really brought us closer over the last probably 10 years or so as a family. Once we had our first child, I had began taking her to church because I wasn't really raised in the church a whole lot. I knew a little bit about God. I went to church with some friends off and on, and so I decided to go to church with her. So time passed. We had a second child. I was taking him to church. I'd taken my niece and nephew often would ride with me to church. And there were days that got really frustrating trying to take all these kids to church on my own. I talked to Charlie a couple times about going, and it just kind of wasn't his thing a lot of the time. Sometimes I'd get frustrated because he wouldn't go with me. I was starting to grow in the Lord, and I felt like there was just kind of a difference between me and him. There came a time when God just shared with me. He told me that not to worry about it, that he would take care of it, and to just continue to pray about it. So that's what I did. At some point I finally laid it down, and Charlie would come when he wanted to, and there would be days when he didn't, and I kept going. A lot of Sundays I would usually just go to my Sunday school class. I was receiving a lot of meat in there, just a lot of word and fellowship with just some other sisters in Christ. And Charlie had begun going to Sunday school more frequently, mostly because of fishing trips. Yeah. So he had started going so that he could go on the men's group fishing trips. And
Big fishing trips.
so that kind of worked out for a while. You know, life then was pretty hard. He was working days, I was working night shift and going to nursing school, and we was just trying to do the best we could, but I still had that frustration inside me that, you know, things could be better if he would start coming with us. So it was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I guess, like that situation of me just going and him sometimes going feeling like I had to drag him or just leave him and not try to be frustrated. So I come home from work one morning and I was really tired, so I'd lay down and didn't go to church. So he had told me once I woke up that he went somewhere else for church. It wasn't the place that we'd been going, and it's what grew to be Life Church at that time. So we had moved and started going there. I could see some changes in him because he wanted to go. Like, he was taking a stand for his family and was going to go there. So after a few months of going there, I guess in October that year, we went on a camping trip. And I can tell you that that weekend that my family went on that camping trip, the same family didn't come back. There was a huge change that happened that weekend in my husband, which caused major changes in our family.
What happened at the camping trip was before, whenever we was going to the other church, I had one of the leaders in our Sunday school class right there and stuff. I asked him what that true blasphemy was, and he told me it's whenever you denounce God right there and stuff, and that it was unforgivable. So I didn't look into it any further right there and stuff, because before that time I had pronounced that I didn't believe that there was a God, that I was man enough to do whatever I needed to do on my own, and so basically I was going to church for my kids to be able to learn about God, to keep Trish from nagging at me enough to where we got along, and then whenever that I finally got into a position where there was a strong relationship built between me and it was John Henderson and John McDaniels. That was a leading group at night at the campfire, and they was talking about the traps in life where a man is right there and stuff, because he feels like he needs to be a man and do everything on his own. and that's a fleshful trap. And everything they spoke to me right there and stuff. And John both said that whenever they was speaking across the whole group that was all there, because it was a large group, because it was our whole church was at the camp out, that they both seen just a light coming down on me, and that they were speaking to me, and they was speaking. Every word they spoke hit home, and really softened up my heart a lot. And so then that night I asked John right there and stuff about what I was supposed to do, because I thought that I was unsavable. And it was purely over my laziness of not getting into the Word. Whenever that somebody tells you that you're not going to be able to be saved anyway, why are you going to dig into the Word to begin with? And so he explained to me what that blasphemy really meant right there and stuff about keeping a hardened heart. That your heart never softens, that you never hear from the Lord, you never feel His movements. That you have pretty much turned your back and you're not willing to turn back around. But that whenever that you have softened your heart, and that you hear His calling, and that you lay your past life down and you ask for redemption, that He's standing there with open arms, just like the prodigal son coming home. And whenever I took that step, then I actually became the spiritual leader of the household. And it made our house come together, and the strife on Sunday mornings, and the strife about, well, you're not really trying to help me on this part of it, you're not really trying to help me on this part of it, all of it just dissipated and went away. And so it made our spiritual marriage together grow stronger right there and stuff. A lot more stronger than what our fleshful marriage ever was. Because when we first met, we wasn't saved, we wasn't living right. We was out on the town partying all night, running around. And there was no really feeling like you accomplished anything besides just living for that night or for that moment. There was no purpose to us.
Going through the steps.
And whenever I dedicated my life, right there stuff, then we started going on Wednesday nights and Sundays, and we was getting in the Word, and we was doing Bible study. But our spiritual growth together has brought us closer together, and the things of the world really don't have a hold on us anymore. So we don't get stressed out by finances. We don't get stressed out about what other people think and what other people say, because we know where we're at. We know we live in victory, and we know that we're heirs to a great kingdom, and that we're just passing through this world, and that whenever that a marriage is got a strong foundation in church, in a strong belief in God, that everything prospers by His hand, and that's the way our marriage is. I'm Charlie Morgan.
And I'm Patricia.
And we encourage you to devil-proof your family.